advent of the internet, everything has changed. Prior to having the internet, if you all think about your childhood, you did a lot of different things, and the things that gave you pleasure and happiness were smaller and simpler things. I remember walking around in the rain, just counting the number of snails in the garden. Which child does that anymore? They're probably looking at counting the snails on a game board, on their computer, kill the snail or something like that. Right? We did very simple things, and the desires that we had were kind of controlled and contained. At best, I remember pestering my father to take me to the cartoons every Sunday, once a week. We went to Metro Cinema to watch cartoon, and that was a treat, to go out with my dad and have a morning with him. We had very simple desires. We had no particular cravings, Birthdays was when you had the sweet dishes made, vada and payasam in our tradition. And you didn't get it every day of the week, and that was okay. That was okay. We never got to go to restaurants and eat in fancy places, maybe once a month. And given our limited circumstances, even without an internet and even without dating apps, we found our significant other. Somehow, we made our friends, and we lived a very interesting life following whatever came to us unsought. There was no craving, no desire, no constant frantic searching to do things. We were quite happy to spend a Saturday afternoon or a Friday evening reading a book. I can't remember with my children the last Friday they were home and not restless and not feeling like a loser because they had nothing to do. Because you're supposed to be doing something on Friday evenings. I don't know who said that, but that's how it's supposed to be. So just sitting and doing nothing. Our sense of purpose was enough if we were reading a book. We got to watch 1 or 2 television programs a day, a week. Sometimes at 6:30, and they would come in regional languages which we didn't understand, and there would be one English serial. Here's Lucy or Star Trek, and you waited all week to watch that. Your desires were much less, so you tended to focus on other things. I focused as a child on my musical talent. So I sang a lot more. I did a lot of concerts. I did a lot of, shows and things like that. Group singing. And we had a lot of that. The problem with life today, that the reason why people are struggling to find purpose, is that they're being pulled in too many different directions. There are just too many choices. On your dating app, you've got a man with a beard, without a beard, with hair, with no hair, tall, short, fat, thin, Bengali, Punjabi, Turkish. You've got them all. Oh, let me try the Turkish guy. Oh, the Turkish guy is, he's not got the right. Okay, let me try this guy. You're going all over the place. We weren't given those choices. We were given one man. And you suddenly aligned all your thoughts to make that marriage work with that one man. And it worked. 35 years later, we're still here. The choices are so mind-boggling. You can't settle on one thing. You want to make beads and you want to make jewelry. The next thing you're doing is, it's too boring, let me try pottery. And then let me try Tai Chi. I want to become a yoga instructor. It's whatever's going on. There are too many things out there. And you're trying your hand a little bit here, a little bit there, 1 foot here, 1 foot there. and when it doesn't work out, you're feeling frustrated and wondering why things are not going your way. You have to simplify your life. You have to get back to very simple things, very narrow reaches. It doesn't matter if you're not member of this committee, that committee, part of this group, part of that group, called here, called there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing all these million things, the world might think that you're very popular, but you yourself will feel a sense of being dissatisfied. A foot here and a foot there. When your desires, when you control the million desires and bring it down to about 100, it becomes manageable. And out of that 100, when it becomes 5 or 10, it becomes even more manageable. How do you not follow desires? You learn to recognize your thoughts. You learn to recognize your thoughts, and your thoughts are continually throwing those desires out at you. Get on Instagram, get on Facebook, answer this, sell your creams here, write another book, talk to an author, talk to this thing, showcase it. So many things for me. If I catch hold of each and I'm doing a little of this and a little of that and a little of this and a little of that, nothing gets done. It's like you wake up in the morning and then you come out and you see a coffee cup lying there and you go to put it in the sink, and then you see a plant that you kept there to water, and then you go and keep the plant out, but then you realize that the front door is unlocked, and so you move there, you've left the plant somewhere else, you've gone to the front door and the front door is unlocked, oh, there's flowers there, and then you see the sprinklers on and then you go run to get the sprinkler. You get nothing done. How many of us go through our day like this? A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, this is unfinished, that is unfinished. Things are kept all over the place. If you have nothing, yet you focus on just one thing in your life, that will manifest. That will manifest. It's what your energies are focused on. As long as your mind is crowded with a million things happening, as long as you're involved in 10,000 things in your life, you're not going to find the right thing that completes you, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel just right. It may not bring you money, it may not bring you wealth, it may not bring you success, but it may be what you need to do. It could be something quite as simple as, volunteering somewhere, or doing some, redoing someone's garden or redoing someone's home. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering, is what I'm trying to say. But it could be that one thing that your soul needs, that you need to do to complete. It could be traveling, it could be writing, it could be making pottery, making beads, painting, talking to people, helping someone out. So many things. The world is filled with a lot of things. But the right one will not occur to you as long as you are lost in the highway of thought. As long as these 1,000 things are there, coming up. You're catching this, you're trying to follow this, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. And we all are, we pride ourselves on multitasking, But multitasking is not a good thing. It just means you're not focused enough on even one task. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you're cooking, then you cook. I can guarantee you, if you're trying to send emails while you're cooking, your food will burn. I've done it several times. Right? You can't pay attention to too many things. When you're cooking, cook. When you're ironing, take every little crease out. No job is too small to, not warrant your full attention. If you are at work, you're at work. Take breaks. If your mind gets tired, take breaks. Walk away from your computer for a few minutes a day. Clear your mind. Go out into the garden. Drink a cup of coffee. And when you're drinking a cup of coffee, don't think about your work. Drink that cup of coffee. Savor the taste, the aroma, the amount of sugar that's put, the warmth that's coming into your body. Feel it go down your throat. Admire the cup that it's in. That is presence. If you do that, you don't need to be doing anything to complete you. Right now, in this moment, you'll feel that upsurge of happiness. That upsurge of all that's right, that peace, that contentment, that purpose of life. It's very elusive because we're looking for something fantastic, something huge, a great event. But sometimes it's the small little miracles that give you so much pleasure, like my nails. It gives me immense pleasure to paint my nails. When I do that, I do nothing else. I just paint my nails. I love doing it. It's okay. We take whatever you do, pay attention to it, and it'll do well. And yes, in a day we do several different things, but do them one after another, not at the same time. That's why you can't text and drive. There's a reason why you can't text. You can text or you can drive, but you can't do both. You also can't meditate and drive. Right? Don't try that. That's also not a good idea. When you meditate, you meditate. Right? I always think of people saying, I meditate when I play tennis or when I'm walking or when I'm working. You are being meditative, and that's a wonderful thing, but you cannot meditate while doing anything else. You can only meditate in one way. That's the only way. If you're doing something else, it has to be a different name. It's not meditation. Right? But if you'd like to call it that, that's fine too. You can go ahead. You can call it what you want if it makes you feel happy. Because after all, what are we after? What is the ultimate goal in life? That's it. That's it. Everyone is searching for that. Everyone wants to be happy. They just don't know how. They don't get it that right now is the time. If you're not happy now, you will never be. Never. You can't be happy after I find my purpose, after I discover what I have to do, after my book becomes a #1 bestseller, after I, make the meal of the world, after my daughter gets married, after my daughter has children, after those children have grandchildren. When does it stop? When does it stop? So many conditions to you being happy. So many other things responsible. And it starts with your cravings. Cravings, aversions. All day, that's all you're doing. Going after what you think is happiness and running away from that which you think gives you pain. You'd rather go to a birthday party than a funeral. Quite simple. Right? Because it's celebrating something. The other one's a little sad, although that's also, if you think about it, a celebration of life. In another way, we run away from that which is difficult, and sometimes we miss our purpose. Because the path is never easy. And the more you believe, the more obstacles are thrown at you to test you. What is your capacity for staying firm? for staying faithful to what you believe in, for staying on that path, for following your ideals or your dreams, because it's not random that this dream was put in your heart. There is a reason for it. There is a reason why it even came up as a thought. And if you have decided to follow it, follow it through. And one by one, this obstacle will come, that obstacle will come. You're starting a business, and the electricity doesn't work one day, the internet goes the other day, the contract that you want doesn't come through. Someone else is doing the same thing as you, doing a lot better. There's so much out there that prevents you from reaching your goal. And many people just give up. They just give up because they're not willing to take that inward spiritual leap, because any obstacle, any negativity cannot be overcome in this world. You have to go inside and come up with that inner strength. Because unless you have inner strength, you cannot get over the minor obstacles that come in your way. And when you have that inner strength, those obstacles, will just become challenges. Little challenges. One challenge after another. And that's what life's about, right? If you didn't have that, you'd have one state of mind. I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm not glad, I'm not miserable, I don't know what's good, I don't know what's bad, I don't know what's evil, I don't know what's nice. Everything is just one. Because we have one, we know the other, right? And the satisfaction of overcoming obstacle after obstacle and then achieving your goal is wonderful. And ultimately, if it becomes too much for you, nothing really matters, because you're going to die anyway. So don't take life so seriously. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you achieve or what you've done. Thousands have come before. They've also been all worked up. I'm not finding my purpose. I'm so miserable. I'm so unhappy. And then they've died. And the same thing is going to happen to you too. You've got to be light-hearted about life and enjoy yourself. This life is supposed to be lived effortlessly. Not filled with trials and this. Even if you have the world's worst disease, you can bring a smile to your face. You can find a reason to laugh. People that are in their terminal stages of cancer, when they accept the inevitability of their life, there's a change that comes over them. When you read the results of what hospice nurses talk about, I did a lot of that research when I was writing them. They say that there is a certain peace that takes over them, and they reach out to friends, they comfort everyone else around them, they take responsibility for all that they've done, they make amends for whatever mistakes they made in life, they literally live their life, they value each moment that they have. And that's what it's all about. It's about valuing this moment. So what you pick now is all that matters. If you pick something, stay with it, stay focused, give it all your energy, give it all your effort, and it will work out. And if it doesn't, that's okay. That's a minor hiccup. You can keep going. Or you can pick something else. After all, each day we are bombarded with so many different choices. Sky is the limit. You can do what you want. But whatever you do, are you happy now? That smile on your face, that's all that matters. Om Namaः Shivaya.